Good morning from a very, very chilly Nairobi, although Dr. Bright is saying Nairobi is not cold and he's from Accra. Like, really? Anyway, welcome to another exciting episode of Digital Data Podcast. I'm your host, Cecilia Maundu. I'm a broadcast journalist, a digital security trainer. I work at the intersection of technology, human rights, and journalism. And today I have one of the people that I've been looking for the last 1 year. Yes, a whole 1 year. And he lives in this Nairobi. Yes. Dr. Bright, please tell people why you've taken so long to come back here.
You know, Nairobi, we are broke in this country, so you have to look for money. But yeah, I mean, it's been a long time coming, and I'm happy to be here. We've always been planning this, and we keep on skipping.
No, you've been busy, extremely busy.
Well, I will say that. But anyway, we're here now.
Yes.
Yes.
I had to find you in Addis to convince you to come to the show. Thank goodness for the AU.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's good to see you. Welcome back to the show. We got very good feedback with the show we did one last year ago.
Yeah.
And, you know, people are like, oh, you got Dr. Bright on the show. I'm like, oh, wow. Yeah. So, Dr. Bright.
Yes.
Let me begin by the issue of digital transformation.
Yes.
You know, the thing that has been all over everyone's mouth.
Yeah.
So in your experience as a cybersecurity expert, what role does digital transformation play in businesses, especially industries, and what can they do to embrace cybersecurity habits?
Okay.
Because we see, as we say, it's digital transformation.
So let's start first of all. Digital transformation was not a thing that people actually thought about. Mm-hmm. For a very long time, they think it's just, basically... it was just a concept written down. Say we're going to actually go through a digital transformation. We're going to migrate to things like cloud and everything. It was not a thing that people thought about. Mm-hmm. Then all of a sudden, the pandemic happened and everybody started embracing digital transformation.
Adoption began.
Adoption started beginning. Mm-hmm. And everybody started rushing to be able to implement new things, started moving to the cloud, started moving their systems to be able to access it anywhere and everywhere. There comes now the cybersecurity part of things that nobody ever thought about. Okay, now I'm about to move my ERP, for example, right? To
what is an ERP? Because we are using the most basic language.
I want to get the right definition for you so that I don't lie to you. So ERP, yeah. Enterprise resource planning. A lot of people use that to be able to actually make sure that they can so payment, for example, to suppliers, accessing internal documents, procurement processes, all of those are done on an ERP. So if on the ERP, you're keeping very sensitive data on that server, right? On that system. Now, people used to access that only internally, right? To even have approvals. So for example, you want to do payments for a purchase order, right? For somebody. Mm-hmm. People put that through the ERP. And basically now saying that this person has approved. And then you can now say the purchase order is going out. So if somebody can hack that system and change the purchase order, which is very possible, they'll approve to the wrong account. It happens, right? So we're seeing that if you search through some search engines that we have right now, you'll be able to see those ERP systems available online because people started, accessing those kind of servers remotely, but they did not put the security aspect of things. So that became quite a very difficult thing. People started, first of all, the first time started hearing about VPNs. They never knew what a VPN was, a virtual private network, to be able to connect directly to their offices. But you see, now you're at home. You're more vulnerable. You're not on the same computer network as your office. And by the time you get to the VPN, before you connect to your main office to access all of those systems, you probably might have been compromised one way or the other. Mm-hmm. So the restructuring and redefining how security really is for organizations changed when digital transformation happened. Look at offices have shrunk. They started shutting down many floors to be able to be more sustainable. And all of those means you have to rethink about how your digital security becomes. Yeah.
So I have another question. We are talking about adoption. The other day, the government of Kenya said like 5,000 services are going to be online. So meaning not only in Nairobi, where we call ourselves a hotbed of innovation, even people in the rural areas need now to access services. So I would like you to mention some of the digital habits that people need to apply when Mama Mboga, anyone who is in the who needs to access those services. And also, I would like you to mention a thing on public Wi-Fi.
Okay, before public Wi-Fi, I don't know if you saw a video recently going around where some people in a club decided to make they faked an M-Pesa message on their phone, and it comes to your text message, and they show the waiter that they actually paid for the
I saw
whatever.
that conversation on Twitter, but I didn't understand what it was
it's
about.
A video. So that thing has been there for like almost 8 years. Even I've done it before. So you can basically force a message to look like it actually came from M-Pesa. It comes under M-Pesa and says you've paid.
How do you do that?
Simple apps. There are apps that can do that. And that's an awareness that we need to actually be aware of, right? We are looking at the 5,000 services going online, which we're digitizing all of these services, which is a good thing. I mean, we are trying to embrace, it's the first time we're doing this in an African country where we're moving almost everything online. Meaning people are going to be open to hacks. People are going to scam you. People are going to send you links that are not real. You're going to start trying to pay, and then you might pay to the wrong account again, right? So with all of those, we need to be very careful how we engage all of these offices that we actually going to work with, because you might start going to, or you trust somebody, say, help me get my passport or ID renewal or something like that. Then they'll send you a link to pay to, and it's a wrong one. Because people can actually clone a website. To clone a website is very easy. It takes a few seconds to do that.
What do you mean by cloning a website? We say
by cloning is basically saying that I will take this website, which is say passport dot, I don't know, the government portal.go.ke. You can actually make a copy of that, register it somewhere else, make it look like it's the real one. So somebody, but all the details at the back end is changed. So you think that you're actually paying to the right account.
Yes.
You're not.
No,
so
that's cloning.
That's cloning. So you're cloning the website to be able to do that. So there's going to be a lot of scams, and not just phishing scams where people send you links that are wrong, but they'll even make a phone call. Something happened to me recently where somebody called me and said, hey, Bright, we used to work at Cellulant back in the day. Do you remember me? I'm Professor. No, he said, I'm engineer something. So, the word engineer already makes me feel like this guy is important.
Oh,
the social engineering.
Hacking
the human brain.
Yes, hacking the human side of the brain.
So he told me that, and he said, okay, we have a tender for university in somewhere in Machakos, somewhere there, and would like to apply for it. I know you're the best and everything, so I'm going to send you the tender document. He sent me a long document. And I took time to read it, and I'm like, this is a scam. But I wanted to go with it.
You wanted to go the flow.
I want to go the full way to see how far will this go. And then he said, okay, for this to go through, you need to apply. You need to pay 3,000 Kenya shillings for the tender and everything. He sent me details. He paid and sent me a receipt. Receipt was a digitally generated receipt. So they even paid a premium account for digital scams, right? So I got it, and I was like, okay, this guy is really good. Then they said, so he gave me a number for somebody else who was going to call me. And a text message you sent me of the person who's going to call me, I could tell this is purely a scam. This guy called me and he said, you know what? You have for the tender to go through, there are about 20 people we need to actually sort out, right? For 20,000 Kenya shillings each. But another guy, he's about 50,000 Kenya shillings. And I'm okay. I don't have that much money, but what is the guarantee that I'm going to get the tender? It's like, no, once we actually pay these guys, they will approve by Monday. You get your money you get your first 60% by Thursday. I'm like, wow, okay. So the guy and I, we talked and I said, I can take care of maybe 3 people, but let's do like 100,000 Kenya shillings. But for you to actually get the money, you have to fill a form. My finance guy is very strict about that. So I went and generated a link, which has a malware to get his location. And I sent it to him. And the guy clicked and tried to, you have to accept the location detail. He clicked accept because if you decline, it will refresh again. You decline, it will refresh again. And he actually filled in the form. It was a Google form I gave him, but I put I laced it with the malware. And he gave me all his details, got his location, Google Maps. So I even searched the area, look at the gate the gate for that area. And I sent it to him. And I'm like, so he called me back and I said, I know where you live. I know the kind of phone you're using and everything. You know what he told me? I'm an ex-policeman. Even if you send DCI, they're not going to get me. I know how to pay them off. Simple. And that's me who is experienced, right? How many other people were going to fall for this?
So many. And you see also, you being a cybersecurity expert, you knew what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yes. But how many people have fallen, as you are asking, how many people have fallen into this trap?
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot of people are losing a lot of money because of this. It's becoming too much.
But now let's talk about educating the public. How do you think it should go about? Because let me tell you, Bright, a lot of people are losing money through these scams.
Yeah.
And the most vulnerable people are people who are not aware of such things. How do we go about enlightening the public about this?
We need to make sure that people they go back to basic steps, right? First of all, be very vigilant as to exactly who you're talking to, what information you're giving out, and who you're engaging with for any kind of transaction. Not every transaction, mostly when it's too good to be true, you have to look twice, right? So be very careful about who you talk to about some of those things. That's the first steps. Secondly, our digital lifestyle. We have emails that we have. Emails will be the base of all our security. So if you don't take care of your email, you're going to lose almost everything, right? Look at the case where, remember when you lost your iPhone?
Yes.
Your iPhone got lost. And I told you, somebody's going to send you a link and tell you, this is your Apple recovery link, and maybe follow this link to actually reset your details or locate you, track the phone and everything. It's just it's a scam. They do that just because they want to get your iCloud password and then make sure they can unlock it. And their services that they can actually use to mimic like it came from Apple.
Oh, wow.
And they're available online. So they pay some premium account to make sure they can actually make the extra SMS to look like it came from Apple. And it's a thing that people are doing. So people have to be very vigilant. Take your time, look at whatever you have, think twice about it before you actually get to click on links or download attachments or even talk to people revealing certain kind of information.
So you as a cybersecurity expert, what do you think is the role of cybersecurity in digital transformation? Because clearly it's coming out like the two are a package.
Yes.
Yes.
So people have been looking at cybersecurity, right? Which is being able to protect, detect, and then respond to attacks. We need to start thinking about cyber resilience when it comes to digital transformation. Resilience means you have to identify some of the areas around your environment, your solutions, your tools, the way offices, the way people have access to certain things. You identify all of those kind of things so that when it comes to recovery in terms of an attack has happened, you are easily able to actually recover very fast and very quickly. And it's a thing that most people don't think about. So when it comes to digital transformation, when you're changing to different new technology, you're trying to build what we call a zero trust. Zero trust means that trust but verify. Right? I trust your device to be part of the network. I trust your system to be part of this organization. I trust your account that is part of this account on this network organization domain or whatever it is, but verify again to be sure that this person really belongs here. For example, if I've hacked your computer and I've been able to actually use your account to log into the network, am I logging in from the usual location or not? I might be logging in from another place. The person who has hacked you could be logging in from China or Russia or Uganda. But we know you couldn't have moved from Kenya to Uganda in such a short time. Right? Like in 5 minutes. It's impossible. Or China in a very short time. And your VPN does not allow you to log in from those places. So if it looks at the IP address and everything, they have monitoring tools in the organization to be able to monitor for such anomalies. So all of that, the antivirus that you guys are using, the mobile device management tools that people are using, all of those form what we call a zero trust. Zero trust is not a product you buy. It's a process that you follow. And that's something a lot of organizations have to start thinking when it comes to digital transformation, that they need to start incorporating those methodologies into their processes. So identify, protect, detect, respond. The last one is recover. So that entire process is what we need to start putting our mindset to. Is from what we call there's something we call the NIST framework.
Yeah.
The NIST framework is what you're trying to use as a framework to become resilient.
Yes.
Otherwise, people are thinking of just firefighting. If an attack, let's see how we can solve it. But if you don't know what exactly you're going to protect, you don't know what is your asset of greatest risk, you don't know what the asset you want to protect the most, you're not going to know exactly how you're going to defend against them.
You in Addis Ababa, you were talking about when is it Safaricom which was down, or which network was down?
eCitizen.
Yes, eCitizen.
Yeah.
So in such instances, first of all, we want to know, like, the people managing eCitizen.
Yeah.
What is the first thing that they would have done? Because you find there were very necessary services that people needed them,
Yes.
like desperately. So what are some of the measures they would have put in place? Because as you're saying, we're always firefighting.
Yeah.
There must be a problem so that we can start finding a solution.
Yes.
We are literally never ready for disaster management.
Yes.
So I'm talking about disaster management in terms of cybersecurity.
I mean, we have to look at also business continuity planning. A lot of things, when digital transformation started, people now understanding what a BCP plan is, business continuity plan, activating it, right? It was always a concept, again, because, for example, if you have an office here in Westlands and an unfortunate event happens that all your employees who are coming from Thika Roadside cannot reach Westlands because of riots or whatever it is, where would they go to work? How would they be able to continue working? You have to know they're critical. They need to access their computers. They need to work. You see, when you look at a BCP plan, you have to plan around those. If you look at eCitizen, for example, when it went down, you have to do a whole root cause analysis to know why is our system down? Is it a server that has crashed? Is it a system that has been hacked? Is it a system that the traffic is going too much? Do you have a failover plan? Do you have a disaster recovery server where you can redirect customers to go use, right? So traffic movement, how you plan all of those are things, again, you see where the identification comes in.
Yes.
So that you know how to recover.
But yes.
So otherwise, you know how to protect with a few tools, but people can actually bypass some of those firewalls or anything, right? So planning and being able to anticipate what will possibly happen in different scenarios needs to be done. Then when you're activating your BCP plan, you basically know how to be able to respond to that. So that one was DDoS attacks or denial of service attacks happen quite often to many networks, to many companies. But how fast could they be able to actually get back alive and running? That's what they need to start thinking about.
Please demystify denial of service. Yes.
So assuming you and I want to fight, who do you think will beat each other?
I'm sure I would win, but
You're sure you win? Really? Okay. there you're joking. So there's a possibility that I might be stronger than you, so I can be able to beat you. But if there are 10 of you, there's going to be a very difficult chance. There's a very low chance of me being able to win that fight because there are too many of you, right? Yes. So assuming I'm a server and you're a traffic accessing my information, I can manage people who are making requests 1, 2, 3, 4. But not when all of you are trying to attack me at the same time with aggressive punches and everything. And you're not just asking for information this time. You're punching me and kicking me and have a gun and knife and everything. I cannot withstand that fight. So you're denying me service to people. So but if you're too many of you, it's a distributed denial of service. If it's one attacker, that's a denial of service. But distributed, there are multiple people being able to attack that server with so much traffic, it can't stand it and it shuts down.
There's a question I'm always being asked, like when we go to a cafe, like the way we like going to cafes to use their Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Just tell us, like in very simple terms, how someone can be hacked, because we've seen it's very common and Kenyans really like it. And sometimes, and I think it's you, I attended one of your seminars, saying the way people have made it so popular and you go there and handle very sensitive information for the company. Yes.
Yep. So I'll tell you for free, there are some hotels in Kenya right now. When I go with this phone, I can tell what people are browsing. I can see passwords that are flying going on the fly. I can see even some of the hotel machines that basically are able to be hacked just because it's on the Wi-Fi. So they've not segregated and everything. That's a hotel. I'm talking about 5-star hotels in Kenya. 5-star, 4-star hotels. Being on the Wi-Fi means anybody can get access to your systems, possibly, if it's a vulnerable machine. being on a Wi-Fi means you're exposing yourself to everyone else. Being on Wi-Fi means somebody can see possibly where the website you're going to, what you're browsing, and they can force you to go to a different kind of the domain. So if you're going to say gmail.com all the time, or you're going to people who use maybe those other webmail or roundcube or whatever it is, and I can see you're going to roundcube.com to log into your email, I can redirect you to another one that looks just like that. And you will basically try to be forced to put in your username and password, and I could be able to collect it and have access to it. Have I done it before? Yes. How many times? Enough times. So if you're going to run sensitive things on a Wi-Fi network, which we can't avoid because sometimes you travel and we need a Wi-Fi connection and everything, have a VPN. Have a virtual private network solution. There are so many new. If you Google, there are so many numerous ones that are there. Some are free, some are paid. Choose the one that you want, and be able to actually use that on. Put that on for you to be able to make sure your traffic is encrypted as you're doing that. Otherwise, if you have data, hotspot your phone to be able to use as how do you call it, as an internet connection.
Okay.
Yeah.
Please talk about the conversation of paid up VPN and free VPN. Why I'm saying that?
Yeah.
Because if it's free, you're
You're
the
the
service. And
product.
I've seen so many of that conversation. So it's good now I'm talking to a cybersecurity expert, because you find some people saying, oh no, we were advised you just have to Google the company, and no. Please tell us something about.
So there are some open source projects which have already been funded. Yeah. So when they're funded, that means everything they're giving is free, right? So some of those are there, but you're not going to get premium of what it is. So they give you a little bit of it. But even if it's funded, you still have to be able to pay for it to get a proper working VPN where you know your data is safe, it's not being it's fully encrypted, nobody's getting access to it and everything. So I would rather say you go for something that is paid. And paid, you're guaranteed that you're actually going to have encrypted conversation. It's not just anybody who's going to have access to it. But when it's open source, meaning it's open source, anybody can get access to it, right? So I would rather say we go for paid VPNs rather than the free ones, which it's not really going to protect you from attacks.
Okay. So are there any community initiatives or projects that are related to ICT that you're currently involved or passionate about? I know one.
Yeah.
Cyber Girls.
So the Cyber Girls program is an amazing thing, and I'm trying to replicate that for the boy child as well.
Right. Can we just empower the girls first, and then we can talk about the boy child?
But the boy child is also a need
it
for them.
It will take us 100 years.
No. But they're still doing well.
That's a conversation for another day.
Yeah. So I'm part of the Cyber Safe Foundation. I'm part of the advisory board, and we've been seeing these girls do amazing things. Some of the program for Cyber Girls program, this cohort 4, which is just starting. Some of them have never seen a computer. They've never touched a computer. They've never touched cybersecurity. They've never touched code. They don't even know what IT really means. But guess what? Some of them have emerged and they're working for Facebook. They're working for Mozilla. They're working for huge companies out there. They're working for banks. Yeah. And some of the girls, actually, one of them is actually working with me. And I love the fact that the program is tough. It's not an easy one. You're going through it. You're going through it to the end. And it's a very important program. I will encourage every lady. We know we get almost 15,000 applicants.
Yeah, I've seen, what's the name of the...
Confidence.
Yeah, Confidence.
Yeah.
Like, that's how I started following it up. And then one day I see you in the photos and I'm like, wow. Yeah.
So we have about 15,000 and only 500 can be taken at any point in time. So it's a very competitive...
15,000, only 500.
Yes, competitive application. People have to write the right story. Why do you want to be part of the Cyber Girls program? You need to be able to give your details as to exactly what you want to do. I've been doing a similar thing with Africa Hack On, which I founded about 10 years ago. A similar thing, trying to just empower everybody who was trying to get in a cybersecurity role. But I can see it's changed a lot of lives. And I'm trying to see how from next year we should be able to actually enhance it and have more people be able to get guidance on the right path of becoming a cybersecurity engineer. So basically looking at, we might have to run a center of excellence for cybersecurity. So possibly, God willing, we will be able to actually get that running next year.
How can people be involved? I'm sure there are people now who are wondering, like, how can we be part of the Cyber Girls? You never know, they could be part of their 500 people.
Yeah.
How can they be part of the Cyber Girls? Because it's an amazing program.
It is.
It's an amazing program.
Amazing.
Like, they do amazing work.
And the support we have support from so many entities that are basically trying to even donate courses for free and everything. They're all part of it. So if you're part of it, you're going to get mentors, you're going to get guidance and everything. Just Google Cyber Girls program or Cyber Safe Foundation, and you'll be able to get access to it. So Cyber Safe Foundation exists. Just Google Cyber Safe Foundation. You'll be able to get access to all the information and how to apply and everything.
Okay. Yeah. So Dr. Bright, please talk about, we are almost there. Talk about blockchain just for a second, because every time I'm asked about it, please demystify, because I know you know everything about it.
So we're looking at, take for example, M-Pesa, right? It's a digital currency. You don't have it. It's just not tangible.
Yeah.
And blockchain technology is trying to make sure that we're able to decentralize systems that we actually get to build all the time, that we will be able to put a lot of, basically making decisions with code. Let me put it simple like that. For example, there's something we call a smart contract. If you're going to buy land right now, what's the process of buying land? You go to land registry, you have to get a lawyer, the lawyer signs here, you sign here. There's somebody in land registry also has to sign, that is part of a database. You go to the land, you mark the spot, then they tell you that's the GPS location of it, right? But what if somebody in the lands ministry decides to change the detail? And you've seen that happen in Kenya.
So many times.
That somebody has sold the same land to so many people because somebody colluded with somebody somewhere to change details. With blockchain technology, you cannot change that detail. It's immutable. So that smart contract, the contract between the two of us, is being managed by a code. And that code is basically is the way of saying that, yes, we've accepted, I've accepted. It's gone onto the blockchain. And an extra block has been added to that chain of all the blocks. So everybody has a piece of that information that Cecilia and Bright have signed a contract and it's on this blockchain, right, which has been created. Should you change anything, you have to hack everybody and make changes to every single block to be able to make sure that you actually make a change. So you see, there's no single point of failure, right? Take, for example, hospitals. Hospitals have information they're keeping with themselves,
health
with them.
Data,
health data and everything. Every time you want to actually go to another hospital, they could come and form a blockchain, consulting blockchain of their own, whereby all these hospitals can exchange information when they want to. But it will be immutable in the sense that you're not going to change that information easily. You can't steal information that easily. There's extra kind of cryptographic algorithms that have been put on the chain to make sure your data is safe. It's an extra layer of security, which brings the big name of cryptocurrencies that everybody thinks is a bad thing. But people
have lost a lot of money.
People have lost a lot of money to scammers who are telling you, let's do trading on cryptocurrency and everything. Don't believe them. Not your keys, not your crypto. So if you don't have your keys with you, which is your secret key or what they call a key phrase, then somebody's going to use it and withdraw the money. So you have to make sure that you don't give your key to somebody to trade for you. It's like telling you that I have a trading platform and I've given you 100,000 to trade for me. You come back as you are the expert. You tell me, look, you lost. With the share prices went down, and I use a lot of jargon to make sure that you don't understand. And that's how people have lost a lot of money to forex traders who are scammers. Some of them are scammers. There are some of them who are really good at what they do, so people can invest millions in it and get some money out of it. Otherwise, the scam that is going on right now, people are putting, say, oh, we're getting to trade for you. Bring your money. We'll put in cryptocurrency. It'll go up and down. We know when to buy and sell. And they don't know when to buy and sell. They just take your money, pull it out, and that's it. They're gone with it. So that's been happening a lot. But there's so many other applicable use cases for blockchain that we can see for cryptocurrencies. I like to go with a stable coin, something like USDC, by a company called Circle. I'm actually looking forward to be able to actually help them come a lot more in Africa. Because imagine when you want to buy goods in Uganda, how do you send the money? You pay via whatever, bank transfer and everything. You lose a lot of store value. So the amount of the exchange rate and everything is crazy. But if you have a cryptocurrency account here, you have a wallet on the other side, and you send money, it's almost costing like $1 to send that much money. for thousands of dollars or $4 maximum. And that kind of transfer becomes cheaper. You're also using a stable coin. USDC is a stable coin. And that stable coin basically means that it's $1 to $1 USDC. So it's not changing up and down. Other than, unlike the other kind of Bitcoins, which can change up and down, and you don't know, today might be low, tomorrow it might be high, tomorrow you might buy the Bitcoins high, then it comes down, then you've lost money. So people make money. Some do understand how to trade. They know when to buy, they know when to sell, they know when to withdraw, they know when to pump in money. So we have those kind of things, but there's a lot more use cases. Somebody in Nigeria actually paid for his entire wedding with USDC as a cryptocurrency, paid all vendors with USDC as how do you call it, as a stable coin. So you see, and the guy was in the States planning his wedding in Nigeria, but paid everybody easily, like immediately, took less than 10 seconds. And the money was sent through what? The blockchain. So there's a lot of use cases we need to start thinking about. Trading in Africa is going to be easier with blockchain. Paying for digital goods and services with blockchain can be done with cryptocurrencies. Being able to exchange, even let's say you go to stores that you want to do that. You want to go to a store, you want to pay for goods and services. You can store the money as a digital currency, just like M-Pesa. But now on a bigger scale, where it's largely adopted. People are buying stuff from China, and they're losing so much money because of the dollar.
Yeah.
Right?
The dollar, yeah.
The dollar
rate
changes on that side, and this side is too different. So you end up when you buy something from China, you spend so much money and you're losing so much cash. Yet with things like USDC or USDT, which is unregulated and not a stable coin, you basically can actually do a lot of that. So there's a lot of things we can actually do in the blockchain space, and I'm looking forward to see a lot of people get to use it. I'm working on a project actually, which donations that come to most projects never get to the right person, right? Because we don't know. So I give the money to you. You are going to help farmers in Masai Mara, or chiefs in Masai Mara. Then the chiefs get to push the money to other people. But how do you know the money has got to the right person?
You have no way of finding out.
You don't way of finding out. But when on a blockchain and a cryptocurrency kind of donation, that transaction is publicly available. So everybody can see. So it's very
transparent.
Transparency. So that the donor knows this person moved this much money here, and then moved it here, and moved it here, and it's a public ledger. If we make a public ledger, that's it. So the donor can see where money is moving, has gone to the right wallet, has gone to the wallet for Bright, and then I gave another $5,000 or $2,000 to Jane or John or Kamal. It's transparency. Wow. They don't have to wait for a report.
So how can we get more people? The last question.
Yeah.
How can we get more people to adopt that? Because there's always this fear, especially when crypto came and a lot of people lost so much money because they didn't know the way you were saying, including myself. Yeah. So how can we enlighten the public on such things? Because I feel it's a very good deal.
It is two things. We need the government to be able to understand what blockchain really is and what cryptocurrency really is and regulate it. Let regulated entities also be able to come in. Like Circle, which is USDC, Circle Financials are the ones who build USDC. If they come here and they're already regulated and they can see everything transparent and you want to tax even the transactions, it's fine. Do it, right? That case, we're able to let more people use it and build applications on the USDC architecture, right? Which is on the blockchain. It's immutable. There's so many, all the use cases can now be built. Then we need a lot more education, which I'm planning to do next year. A lot of workshops, educate more people to understand the use of USDC for developers and non-developers. That we get to adopt this a lot more. Yeah.
Wow. So I think the next episode we should talk about blockchain.
We should.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe we can get another extra expert, which we can actually have to this
because it is a very good thing. And I believe people have this fear. Every time you mention something to do with cybersecurity, people are like, no, it's not for me.
Yeah.
No, it's too late.
It's
That
it's
ship
for
has set
everybody.
now. Like everyone has to be on
Yeah.
board.
Everybody needs it.
Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Dr. Bright.
Thank you so
much for
much.
making the time.
Yeah.
Thank goodness the AU invited me to Addis, where I could be able to drag it my show.
I like the fact that we booked on the spot.
Yes.
Then and there.
Yes.
Without fail.
Yes.
And
Thank you so
I'm
much.
happy to have come here.
Yeah.
Sure.
I don't have anything else to say. See you in the next episode.
Sure.
And make sure that you embrace your digital habits.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.